All right, good morning. Today we're going to be working on prime factorization. We're going to be working on this to get least common multiple and greatest common factor. Okay, right now we're going to be doing least common multiple. And up on the board I have written some of the very common prime factors: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19. Now most of the work we do won't have 17s or 19s, but you may want to write them down just so you know, or in case you run into those. So usually when I'm going to do prime factorization, I write those numbers at the top of my paper. Why? Because when I break a number down, if I get down to one of those numbers, then I know that that number's done. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's do 20. Now, you always write the number and then you want to write this little tree. I am going to write it twice because I know that there are two ways to do 20. You only have to do one. But there are two different ways to get there, and I want to show you that no matter which way you do it, you get the same answer. Okay? So you're going to think to yourself, first you're going to draw the branches, then you're going to think, what can I multiply to get 20? What two numbers can multiply together to make 20? Think about that for a minute. So there's two answers that you could do. 1 times 20 is an answer, but we don't use ones in factor trees because it just leads you back to 20 and then we don't get anywhere. Okay? One of those answers could be 2 times 10. My board's a little crooked there. Another one could be 5 times 4. Now, notice that I wrote 2 times 10 instead of 10 times 2, and I wrote 5 times 4 instead of 4 times 5. Why? Because these two numbers are in this list. There's the 2, there's the 5. So these are already prime. They automatically go to the bottom. 5 is prime, automatically he comes down to the bottom. Why did I write 2? Automatically he comes down to the bottom. Once they're prime, drag them down. Because the biggest problem I had when I was a kid is I would factor all these out, and some of the numbers were so big, I'd have tree branches everywhere, and then I would forget one of my numbers and the whole answer was wrong. And I would get so mad that I had all of it right, I just forgot a number. So I learned young, take an arrow, put it down there so you know it's done. Okay. Now we have, in this 20, we have a 10. In this 20, we have a 4. Okay? So you're going to ask yourself, what can I multiply to get 10? What can I multiply that would give me 10? Besides 1 times 10. You said 2 times 5. You're on the money. 2 times 5. Now, are those prime numbers or composite numbers? Look up at your list. Both of those numbers are prime, 2 and 5. 2, 5, guess what? I get to come down to the bottom. Okay? Let's do this 4 that's left. What could we multiply to get 4? Right, 2 times 2. And is the 2 up in that list? Yes, it is. So guess what? 2 is done too. Now, here's what I want you to notice. Yes, they are in a different order, but I have 2 2s and a 5, and I have 2 2s and a 5. So you get the exact same answer. The numbers are in a different order, but you still get the same answer. It doesn't matter that they're 5 2 2 and 2 2 5. It doesn't matter. As long as you have the same factors, you're good. As long as you have your numbers broken down into prime factors, they're done. The biggest thing that students tend to do is they forget to break something down, like they'll bring down a 6. Can't bring down a 6, it's not prime. You have to do 2 times 3. You can bring 2 and 3 down, but you can't bring a 6 down. So the goal of this is that you are going to just keep breaking numbers down, breaking them down, bringing them down, until all you have left are prime numbers. Then you just list your prime numbers. So the prime numbers for 20 would be 2, 2, and 5. All right, let's try another example. Okay, let's try let's try 24. Again, I'm doing numbers that I know. I think actually there's 3 ways to do 24, and I want to show you all 3. Because really, ultimately, I want you to pick whatever's easiest for you. Now, in the book, they're going to tell you, try and do a prime number always on the left side and keep prime number, prime number, prime number. For example, this we'll do it as the book would want us to do, and they would say 2 times 12, right? Because you got a prime number on the left. They always want you to keep a prime number on the left. Some of us don't know that high multiplication tables, and that's okay. There's other ways to get to 24. Some of you know that 6 times 4 is 24. And some of you know that 8 times 3 is 24. And if those are the ones you know, then use them. It just means that you have to break down both sides. So 6 times 4, 8 times 3, okay? Now, this 3 is prime, because remember, I'll put that list back up. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19. That's a bad 7, sorry. All right, that 3 is prime. He can go all the way down. He's done. Okay? Now, the only difference is the middle one you have to break down both. Because I have a 6 and a 4, and neither one of those numbers is in my prime list. So those two have to be broken down. 12 is not in that list. 8 is not in that list. So we got to break down these numbers. Let's start with 1 and finish it, and then I'll work my way over. I need something I can, I'm sorry, this board keeps going crooked on me. I need something I can multiply to get 12. Okay? And it cannot be 1 times 12. So I need something I can multiply to get 12. You got two different options. You could do 2 times 6 or 3 times 4. Most people say 2 times 6. So I'm going to say 2 times 6. I know that 2 is prime. He's going down with his buddy. Okay? I have a 6 left. 6 is not in my prime list. That tells me what? I got to break it down, right? So I need something I can multiply to get 6. Right. 2 and 3. 2 times 3. So now I have all prime numbers. I have 3 2s and a 3. And you could arrow them down if you want to, but I just put them down there because they were so close to the bottom. Okay, let's move over to 24. I got a 6 and a 4. And we just did the 6, so I'm going to do that one for you. 2 times 3 is 6, right? And again, both of those numbers are prime, so guess what? Number 2 and 3, you get to go to the bottom. You get a speed pass. 2 and 3. I don't know what that dot is. How about 4? What could we multiply? Don't forget to put your little branches down. How about 2 times 2? And those are prime numbers, so they're going to go down. I don't know why that's there. And it's not letting me draw over it. I can't get it out of my way. Oh, yes I can. There we go. So again, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3. Get the same numbers. You're getting the same prime numbers. You're just doing it 3 different ways. All right, let's try 24. Break down that 8. Where didn't we do it? Nope. How can we get to 8? How about we could do 2 times 4? Now, here's where I used to get stuck as a kid. Because I would leave this 2, and then I would do this, and I would say, well, 2 times 2 is 4, and I would bring down these 2's right here from this, but I would forget this one left up here, because he's kind of like mixed in with all this. That's why I tell you, bring him down, okay? Bring him down as soon as you get a prime number. Just arrow it down and bring it down and get it out of there. Otherwise, you're going to forget a number, and your whole thing is all messed up. Okay? So again, 2, 2, 2, and 3. 2, 2, 2, and 3. 2, 2, 2, and 3. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a number when you do your homework tonight, or if you're doing homework right now. And I want you to think to yourself, what do I need to do to multiply to get that number? What can I multiply to get that number? Is it a 3, a 2, a 5, a 7, an 11, 13, 17, or 19? If it is, you can't do anything. Just bring it to the bottom. But if you can, draw your little branches, break it down. Then ask yourself the same question on both numbers, okay? Ask yourself on both sides. Is this a prime number? No. What do I need to do to multiply to get there? Is this a prime number? Yes. Bring it down to the bottom, okay? And you're just going to keep doing that all the way until you have no numbers left except for prime numbers. I hope this video was helpful. If you're still stuck, let me know. You can come in for some tutoring. Let your parents know. Maybe they can watch this video and help you get along further. Have a great day. Make great choices.